I've been using the word future self for years, and recently something about it started bothering me. It's not the idea of growth, not the idea of vision, and obviously not the idea of becoming better, but the word future started to feel off. Because when you say future self, it implies that who you really are is somewhere else or some other time, 10 years from now, or when you've made it, when you've built it, when you've achieved it. And that framing can quietly mess with your identity. And I'm not here to bash the concept. I actually think it's powerful, but I think most people are using it wrong, and I caught myself doing it too. I built an identity around a projected future version of myself, but in reality, I was chasing something that was never really me. You can achieve the thing and still feel off. So, this video is not about ambition. It's about whether you're becoming or performing, whether you're integrating or inflating. So, let's look at how future self is usually used. When people talk about future self, what are they actually doing? They imagine the body, the money, the house, the status, the lifestyle, the confidence, the success. They romanticize a version of themselves and fall in love with its image. And then they try to live as that person today, and this is where it starts to break. Because instead of becoming, they start performing, and instead of integrating, they start inflating. Here's the illusion: real growth is uncomfortable. So when we feel the discomfort of acting as if, we assume that this must be the work, right? I'm feeling the discomfort of growth. But there's a difference between stretching your capacity and pretending to be someone you're not yet. One builds integrity and the other builds tension, and I felt that tension: the chaotic thoughts, the closed chest, trying to act confident and internally feeling not settled, comparing. That is not becoming. Honestly, that's just a pure performance. Now, this is where it gets subtle. The real danger of future self framing is this: it can displace your identity. It can make you believe that who you are is not here, it's over there. And now, what you're doing is you're chasing an image instead of embodying truth. So, I'm going to talk about this from four perspectives. From a philosophical point of view, you only live now. There is no future version that you can inhabit. There is only the present. So if your identity lives 10 years from now, you are never embodied in the here and now. Psychologically, when you create a character and try to live as them, you split yourself. Obviously, there's the real you and then there's the projected you. And that split creates anxiety, it creates shame, it creates urgency, and your body feels it. Now, biblically, identity is not something you manufacture. It is something revealed to you and then you grow into it. So you can't really perform a calling or cosplay a calling. You have to mature into a calling. And neurologically, your body knows when something is not integrated. You can't really lie to your nervous system, right? If you're acting like you're confident, but you're not really grounded, your body tightens. You're going to feel anxious, right? If you're acting successful, but you're not internally stable, your system will feel it. And then what happens is that you confuse that friction for growth, but it is not growth, right? Here's the ego test. If you act as if because not looking as if triggers some insecurities, then the danger becomes building an identity from lack. And how do you know which version you're operating from? How do you know if it's ego or calling? Well, you remove recognition. Ask yourself, would you still want it if nobody knew? Would you still train if nobody saw your progress? Would you still chase that money if nobody knew you had it? If the answer changes when recognition disappears, then it was never about growth. It was about proving. And anything built on proving will inflate your ego before it strengthens your character. Now, here's the correction. I'm not against vision or ambition, like I said. I'm against building identity from lack. Because growth is not about adding more layers to impress. It's about removing what's false and then adding only what serves purpose. When I imagine my best life now, it doesn't feel loud. It feels quiet. It feels like gravity. It feels steady. It feels like this is who I'm meant to be, And now I build the character that is capable of carrying that life. Not something like, let me emulate how others live so I can be fulfilled like they are. Or let's pretend I'm already there. The future is not a costume that you put on, it is a responsibility. And you grow into responsibility, you don't perform it. So, what's wrong with future self identity? Nothing if it's direction, but everything if it's performance. If your vision makes you more self obsessed, slow down. If it makes you more responsible, more useful, more aligned, then that's good. You're being formed. Because the future is not where your identity lives, the future is where your character gets revealed. And you don't become by pretending, you become by integrating every day.